Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Fola. I'm so glad to have you here, and let's talk a bit today about energy modalities and healing. And this came about because I have so many people asking me, Fola, what is it that you actually do? And I'm always like, all the things? That's a really great question. So I figured this video would be a great opportunity to just come out and share with you some of the things that I do. And hopefully the cat will not interrupt us too much. You can't be here right now. You have to go. Go. Kitty. Oh. Anyways, so I have a little list here of some of the things that I do, and I just want to talk a bit about what has fascinated me about each of these modalities and a little story around why I've continued to choose that in my life. First off would have to be Reiki. Reiki is a traditional Japanese form of energy healing that, started many decades back. It was basically given to this spiritual guide teacher who experienced like an awakening and was able to then go around and use this hands-on, hands-off, gentle approach of moving energy through the body. And Reiki is really about this universal healing energy that is available to all of us. And so I had met someone who had done a session quite a few years ago. This was actually before my whole spiritual awakening. And it was a very calming, gentle process, just laying there, like you would a massage, for about an hour, and she just held the hand positions at certain parts over my body. And I remember seeing glowing ebbing lights and all this neat stuff, and it was really cool until the next day. And I out of nowhere could not talk. My this blockage or something just completely was releasing, and I got really sick, just in my throat, though it wasn't a normal cold, which I found really interesting because most of my life I had always developed strep throat. I knew it to the day. It would be beginnings to the first week, second week of November, I'd get strep throat. And it was after those Reiki sessions, really, all that stuff stopped. So something cleared out, and that led me to just being more open to learning about this form of energy and the ability for us to use our intuition to support healing in ourselves. And so I always tell people, encourage them, if you're not really sure what Reiki is, obviously go try a session. If you have tried it and you want to learn more, then usually it comes in 3 levels, level 1, 2, 3, 4 if you want to go on teaching. So I am a Reiki master. That's the 3rd level equivalent, I believe, if you look at it universally. And it's just been really a healing, gentle process for me, something that I can use on my body at any point, and it just helps clear any blockages, any areas where energy might be stagnant in our body or in our energetic field. So Reiki has definitely been a huge part of my journey. Next, I would have to say is the sound therapy. And again, these aren't really in any order, but I guess maybe a little bit. Sound therapy involves using tuning forks, which you would think I should have them right here, but I don't. So I'll put a picture you can look at. But I like to think of sound therapy as including a variety of things, which I'll talk about later when I talk about drumming. But it's really about allowing the vibration of the tuning forks, which are set to the universal energies or frequencies of our world. We have our C, D, E, F, G. You can play the piano. These are universal notes. They're universal sounds and frequencies. And so you take the tuning forks and you hold them at certain points in the body, and it allows that part of the body where there might have been a dissonance or maybe a dis-ease or energy is off. That body part, that cell has to start vibrating at whatever that tuning fork is at. So it's really about bringing the body back into harmony, bringing our energy field back into harmony. And I would say it's very beneficial for pains in the physical body, healing of any type of ailment. But for myself, it was really weird how I actually got involved with sound therapy. It wasn't something I love music. I've always enjoyed sounds and music and that sort of thing. But I had been invited to take a class, and it just seemed like everything was working out, everything. And it was as if something was really wanting me to take the class. And I just was nah, whatever. But here I was eventually in the course. And as I went to go and lay on the table, I like had this immediate like fear reaction, like paranoia, anxiety. And I was like, whoa. I just told the person who was practicing on me, who's actually a friend of mine, I'm like, I don't want this. Like, I don't know why and where is this fear coming from, but it's there. And my teacher was quite reassuring, and we did the whole session, and it was like quite lovely. But again, it was like the next day. This isn't like to scare you away from any of these sorts of sessions. I really feel like they're very healing, and they're not always so, yeah, I'm just kind of sharing with you, I guess, the more intense experiences that I've had from them. But what happened after that healing of the sound therapy, like that morning I woke up and I knew this intergenerational trauma that had existed in our family on like my paternal side, around the family name. Like it seems so silly, but I like just knew everything around like my great 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 grandfather and the shame and the guilt that had come up and why they had changed the name from the traditional name to like the English British name. And it was just so healing, like to be able to process that for myself and for them. And so sound therapy, I've always enjoyed like just using that even on the heart space, because it really helps bring us back into that place of just like love and acceptance. And it's just really healing. So I would say that that is my like number 2 fun modality technique. And then I would have to say access bars. Ding. So access bars is a body process from Access Consciousness, which was created by Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane here. Pictures I will put here so you can see. And it's just been like the most creative and like exciting part of my journey is stepping more into access consciousness, which I still kind of feel like sometimes is a cult, but I love cults. I mean, let's just be honest there. Let me start with what it is, I guess. It is this other energy process where the practitioner sits at your head and runs these different bars, they call them, or energy points. There's 32 energy points on your head, and you just have like a beautiful experience. They say even within Access, like the worst thing that will happen from getting your bars run is you will feel like you had a very beautiful massage. And the worst thing, or the better thing, worst thing, is that it'll change your life. And I would like to say that since getting the bars run, and every time I go and get my bars run, something amazing like unfolds for me. And I don't really know like what that is. It's just, it allows everything that doesn't serve you to just like slough off. Like anything that maybe you've been holding on to, attachments, certain belief systems, because that's really what Access Consciousness is about, is asking the questions to shift your consciousness, to shift your perspective into a place that's like more expansive and encompasses all the infinite potential that we have available to us. And so I would say getting your bars run is definitely a beautiful opportunity. It's relaxing. The first time, or first 2 times actually, I was going to go and get it, like before I started actually giving these sessions out to clients, I had like a strange sort of occurrence where it was like how I would describe from the mental health psychiatry world as thought insertion, where it kind of sounds like really, it was really intense actually. It's like my mind was just blank. I couldn't process anything. And then I started getting these thoughts in my head, and I was like wondering, where are these coming from? Like it sounded like my mind and my like inner voice, but it wasn't. I could tell they were just ideas and beliefs coming from everywhere else that I've just taken on as my own. And even though it was kind of scary initially, now I'm just saying like, oh, how much is actually my own thoughts? How much of me am I actually creating or wanting to be? And it's not just me picking up from other people's own shit. So I truly believe that access bars can change your life. And I love, it's just like so magical and fun. And my teacher, Linda's like so fun. And like, and Carol, like they're just, oh, it's just been like so much fun. So definitely check out access bars. You can go to the Access Consciousness website and look people up. If you are in this area, reach out to me because I do that too. But yeah. So that is that one. And then the last 2, I would like to say kind of joined together. And I didn't really know which order to put them in because to me, they are like one and the same. But really plant medicine and working with plants and the beautiful journey that plants can give us has just been so healing. And some of the work that I'm doing now is really trying to incorporate how can we connect with plants, whether those are your like typical like psilocybin, magic mushrooms, cannabis, the ones that kind of really cause more of an altered state, with other plants, or even just with the energetics of those plants. And so when I guide someone through a plant journey, depending obviously on legality reasons and all that stuff of where they're located and also where they feel comfortable in like proceeding, it's really about us connecting to that energy of the plant and utilizing that energy with our intention, with conscious and deliberate like focus to allow it to heal us in an area in our life, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or just to connect more deeply to who we truly are. And I really see these plants as like these magical little like teachers and allies that they just want to engage with us and show us the beauty of who we are, who we be. So plant journeys have been something that I've been utilizing on my own in a variety of ways, and I hope to be able to bring that out more in the years to come, especially with the future movement of psychedelic assisted psychotherapy. And I feel like for myself being a mental health nurse and stepping into like this kind of more holistic, shamanic, earth-based medicine, that it's going to really help kind of bridge those worlds together. Because otherwise, you can just pop a pill or smoke a joint, whatever you want to, like partake in these things. But really, what is the underlying root of the problem here? What is the reason that we keep going into those same patterns? How can we shift that? And so this is where I would then come across with the shamanic medicine, that path of shamanism, of the beauty of like the earth and nature and our ancestors and like these lineage pieces and how healing that can be. I somehow came across shamanism. I guess when it's time, it just finds you, whatever. That's like anything, I suppose. But it was this beautiful realization of just how much potential I have as an individual here and how much I can connect to like that personal power, who I am, what my sacred dream is, like the path I'm meant to walk out, because we all came here for a purpose. And no matter where you are walking it. It's just, why don't we walk it more deliberately? How much more can we connect to the dreamer that is us? Because we are constantly creating this world that we live in, your reality, when we talk law of attraction, it's like, it's so much more than that. It's literally you creating through the dream time, everything that plays out. And the more we can clear things that don't serve us again, and also support that healing of the generations past, with our ancestry and the things that maybe have been carried through us, through our DNA and our blood, the more we can experience this like beauty and this magic of the world around us. And, I talk about these different energy processes and I love them for all their own like reasons, but life can just be so simple if we just be present and start to notice nature, start to notice the animals and like the medicine signs, the things that they are teaching us through synchronicities and just their presence in our life. And I love that, like a little like ding there. It's like, oh. Anyway, so shamanism, the practices that I like follow, learn, whatever, try to share with people, it includes a variety of things, from like the alchemy and the magic of ceremony to the healing process through like the drum and coaching and learning more about how to connect to your own intuition and your power. And I think that is also a beautiful thing. And we can all benefit from learning more about who we truly are. All these modalities, I think, kind of build together. They work together. There's no hierarchy necessarily, even though I just like talk to them about them in like a certain order of how I guess I found them. But I really want to encourage you to seek out your own healing, and whatever that looks like for you. It's not that you're broken or that you need to be fixed. It's just, I think sometimes we live this life and we always can feel like there's something more. And it's about us coming back to like that present, coming back to who we actually be. And we knew that when we were young, when we were children. And shamanism and these techniques that I shared here, they've really been so supportive for me to connect to like that inner child and that authenticity of who I am. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I appreciate you taking the time. And if you want to like and share this video out, you can do so. And don't forget to hit the little subscribe button, because I hope to come out with more information for your juicy little minds. Until then, take care.